we just don't know how to value everything correctly.
Right.
We haven't seen enough of these cards interacting with each other to know where we need to be drafting them. And I think the best place to start is if you're trying to play Simic, start by taking the good Orzhov cards that are just in black.
Absolutely.
You know, cut those cards out of the pack. Go from there.
Yeah.
But a skin brand goblin fights a sprite here in
There's
the
going to be
early
some
turns.
sprite. No 7-up, just a sprite. Hank's. This should be Legionnaire. I can't see Hank making any other play than Legionnaire unless he's got some sort of combat trick to save his goblin.
Well, no Legionnaire because he's.
Oh, it's a battlefield medic.
Yep,
frontline medic. Yeah, he's.
So
this,
next
this
turn
might
that will
get there.
have battalion, and that's very
Battalion
easily
trigger
could
with
take
the
care of the
Legionnaire.
game.
Yeah, that could just be too much. I
Is that
don't know
is that a
Zach's
Hands of
deck
Binding,
list,
though?
but yeah, he's gonna have to Hands of Binding here and make it work.
So both of your guys are tapped next turn because I'm going to attack for 2 here. So we're going to drop. I'm sorry, Hank down.
Hank's gonna go down to 18. So it'll be 18 each.
Hands of Binding is so good.
Hands of Binding is so good. There's a couple cards that I didn't think were going to be as good as they are. Hands of Binding has been one of those cards. Syndic of the Tithes has been one of those cards that I just thought, when I looked at the spoiler list, I saw that, that's a bear that's got Extort on it. The Thrall, the 1 casting cost Thrall that has Extort on him has been ridiculous. The Denizens have
They've almost all been really
almost
good.
all been better than I thought they were going to be.
I can't remember the black one being very good.
The black one's got the Intimidate factor, so
Yes.
it could punch you through at the end of the game. I played it in my Demir deck yesterday, and it did punch me through for 4 points to win a game. But for the most part, that's been the most underwhelming one. The red one is so-so. It really wants to be in like an old Goblin deck. Like, play a bunch of red dudes. I'll get +1/+1. Okay.
Oh, wow. So more encoding.
More encoding, and Hank doesn't have... Oh, he does have a flying blocker, but...
So he's going to have 2, actually, because he gets the one from casting the spell. Tap down your frontline medic, keep it tapped. Now play enough to block and kill your Sky Knight Legionnaire.
Yep. I don't think Hank can attack with Legionnaire anymore. I think he has to leave it back and trade with Sprite now.
Yeah.
I think that's his only play. I think if he attacks you, that's wrong.
It might be, but he almost seems like he's asking to get... Well, he's going to serve.
He's asking to... maybe he has a combat trick. If he's got Martial Glory in his hand, this is a play.
I'm actually pretty sure I've seen it.
Okay.
So, but this is the block I would make.
Yep.
Because this leaves you less vulnerable to Martial Glory.
Yep.
So
5?
Really a very nice block here by Zach.
Absolutely.
Doing a great job of keeping himself active in this game. And we're getting a life total update here.
Looks like Hank just got in for 5.
Yeah, I want to say it's 16.
I think Zach has
for
13,
Hank.
yeah.
I think Hank has 16, but Leland's back and is going to get that upgraded for you, or updated for you right now. So what is that?
Looks like 17 to 11.
Oh wow, Zach is really pushing the offensive here.
Oh, and now he's going to keep the flyer tapped down so that Hank can't block the Sprite.
And he just can't know that there's 3 Sky Knight Legionnaires in this deck.
Right.
He's going to kill him.
He's going to kill the frontline medic.
So this looks like
Deathwind.
This looks like a blowout for the Demir deck.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat Hank's bombs. He's beaten everything.
Yeah. I think if Hank leaves his flyer back there, he's in a much better position. Just to be able to block the Sprite. Now, the Sprite pretty much blew him out that turn. He keeps his guy tapped. He gets an extra 1/1 on the field. Even without the, then Zach has to spend the Deathwind on the Halberdier to get through to activate all those triggers.
Now, we've seen Hank play very, very well with this Boros deck, so I don't want to sound like I'm overly critical of him. So this comment isn't really directed at him, but we're adding a Riot Gear to...
Just to make the Sprite more of a pain to deal with.
I've seen a lot of Riot Gears getting played. Am I wrong? Is that a good card?
I don't think it's fantastic.
I don't.
But I mean, I was helping the judge with the deck list earlier today. Everybody's one or 2 Riot Gears. I don't know if they just need an extra card or what.
1/2 to a creature.
Did Hank not block there?
No, he didn't. He couldn't. He tapped to the single block.
But Hands of Binding only goes off when it deals damage to the player.
Oh.
It's not every time you attack with it.
So it looks like he just didn't block. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he should have blocked with the bird there.
He didn't realize it. How much? What's Riot Gear get?
Riot Gears +1/+2, I believe.
So he just took 2.
That's
Hank's
the
gonna
card
play
we had
the
to look up before.
Nav Squad Commando.
I gotta look it up again.
I'll never forget it again because it's just it's a card.
And then it untaps it.
It
doesn't
untaps
quite give
itself. Yeah,
vigilance,
it's fake vigilance.
What activates it?
Not real.
I think battalion,
Okay.
battalion
yes,
and attack.
Yeah, so I was making a point earlier that these Boros pilots need to really be crafting the best blood rush.
Battalion.
I'm sorry,
They need to be
battalion.
absolutely,
Triggers that they
absolutely.
can.
And Hank and I talked between rounds, and you know, I said I watched your play, and I think you're playing the deck right, but at the same time, I don't think you're thinking about battalion very much. And he said, well, you know, I think I missed a couple battalion triggers. I said, probably.
You can never
Something
miss
to
a
think
trigger.
about.
And
Yeah.
I gotta say, there's a card that we haven't really seen played here, and it's called Bomber Core.
Bomber
Just
Core
one
was
damage.
ridiculous.
It was unbelievable in my sealed pools, and I only pulled one between my two pre-releases.
But every time you played it, you were probably real happy.
And it's infinitely better inside of a deck where there's multiples of them.
Yep, yep. And just imagine Bomber Core against this field. Ping your guy, ping your guy, ping your guy.
Oh, we've got a Wojak Halberdiers in play.
Halberdiers.
Looks like that was off screen, and we're gonna get a Grizzly Spectacle on.
Looks like it's on the nav.
Yeah, the Nav Squad Commandos.
So Hank's gonna mill what 5 now? Yeah.
Yep, going 4 deep. I don't know, look like 4 to me, but regardless.
Dubs block there, single block there. Those will trade. A lot of those little horror tokens go away.
And that Griffin was being held down, tapped
Yep, the
by the
Griffin's
sprite,
tapped.
so it did not attack. So no damage dealt either there.
Yep.
Zach,
Zach's doing it with 4 mana here and a bunch of little Demir spells, which maybe that's the way to go with Demir. You play a bunch of littles and a bunch of unblockables.
Sprite's insane, though.
yeah, Sprite is really, really strong.
Sprite's
apparently.
good and Hands of Binding is really good.
Yeah, I mean, the on-curve Sprite into Hands of Binding
Yeah.
took this game over.
Absolutely.
I mean, when
And then landing the turn after that, landing the Call of the Nightwing, that pretty much gave Zach infinite dudes. And now he can just pick and choose which spells he wants to play.
Yeah, you know, Hank's Kingdom for mugging, I suppose, is
Uh-huh,
really what we're looking at here.
Well, now it's out of
yeah.
range with the Riot Gear. Hank needs that Avenging
so
Arrow or...
Riot,
Not
the Riot
Avenging
Gear,
Arrow.
if it gives it +1/+2, actually gives him the ability to flex up the power 2 further.
Absolutely.
So now it could be 4
Yeah,
in the air.
yeah. I don't know that that's something that's on Zach's mind because he probably doesn't want to put him in the range of a mugging or something like that. But
yeah.
at the same time,
I'm going to go get us a quick life total check here while
Okay.
we keep watching this round 4 matchup here.
all right.
Hank West versus Zach Cromie, Boros versus Demir.
Looks like the Wojak Legionnaires are getting in there. Going to be a chump block with the 1/1.
And a
Hank
rogue
is going
choice, I believe.
to...
Play
I'm
an
not sure what
artifact
that
I
is.
don't know of.
Is that Riot Gear? Is that the Skyrite staff, maybe?
Well, Hank does have a Riot Gear in his deck. Yeah, it sure looks like the same Riot Gear
Yeah,
that's down
I
there.
think
so.
that's Riot Gear. Hank chooses not to equip it, though.
I feel like he's got to be bluffing a massive raid.
Massive raid or something.
Looks like we're getting 3 pumps here. All right,
And
so that'll
looks
do
like looks like Hank takes the loss there.
it. Yeah, the Demir deck does it. So
The Demir deck did it.
We're gonna